Welcome to the bunker. Join Nikki, Rosella, Robert, Kayla, and Cole Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as we traverse the portals of the universe. Discover the secrets of the cryptids. Uncover the truth of conspiracy. And explore the hauntings of our world. And once again, welcome to the S4 Paranormal Bunker.
Good.
Here.
I'm here. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. It was pretty bad how lethargic I was. I tell you. I was like, just trying to get up the stairs was really rough. When you're crawling upstairs, you know it's not good.
That's
Well, that's perfect for it. Yeah.
It's actually funny. There is a book written. I think it's actually takes place in Ohio, where it takes place is like these zombies come out of this river, where the Mothman kind of like that area. So interesting. My author friend Mark Spencer wrote that. So I think it's in Ohio. I think it's like on the cusp. So it's funny that you said that because I was like, oh, I just remember that. But yeah, like COVID was really rapid here. And the bad thing is we did not know we had it. Like I'm the person who realized, oh my God, it's COVID. Because the symptoms just kind of kept coming back and just regenerating itself after like, a few days. But before, like pretty much like around here too, we have the flu and the norovirus is really bad. So just was trying to like hunker down a lot because my immune system was down and not get us all sick. So I'm sanitizing my butt off still, but finally feeling okay. And I'm bike riding again because the weather is great. So feeling energetic and good. Happy. Yay. Yeah, you wonder if you're ever going to be well because it was like 5 weeks. It's extreme. So yeah, but I'm happy to be back.
I'm glad you're better, and I'm glad you're feeling better, and everything's good.
Thanks. Thank you guys. Starting to feel like it.
Chicken I have. Yeah, get interested. Well, yeah. What was that, Rosella?
Oh, nothing. I'm trying to get the comment things to work on our thing, and I can't figure out how it works. I'm on the no on what we're on now, like YouTube. I'm not seeing it. That's kind of weird because it says like, share. I'm usually doing this like on the computer, so I'm all weird.
And I'll be there in a moment.
Yeah. I'm clicking. The information is coming up, but I'm just not seeing comments. Oh, okay. That. Oh, okay. That could be why. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll figure it out. Um, not protecting yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's the only way I can seem to answer that one.
No protection.
You're here. We can hear you. Oh. Okay.
Yep, you're right. Can't hear you on YouTube.
Okay. But are the rest of us able to be heard?
Okay. I was still looking for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So regarding Astral, I agree with Matt. I'm getting people's names confused tonight. I'm sorry. It's been a hell of a 24 hours. Anyway, so I apologize ahead of time. If I say somebody else's name that I don't mean, I do apologize. Kind of been doing that all day today. Anyway, I agree with Rosella about protecting oneself because it is a really big deal. If you're going into astral and are not protecting your soul and your body, you're going in blind, basically. Yet you'll be able to see everything, which at the same time can be kind of scary. I mean, sometimes people, when they go into astral, doing it in their sleep. So they aren't automatically protecting their body before they go to sleep. They're just in astral and going in and doing things. My own kid was very good at that when he was little. I mean, he was a toddler and he was waking me up in the middle of the night and saying, Mama, come on, I want to go play. And he would be playing in astral. And so I'd have to bring him home. And then you do have angels, you do have spirit guides that will watch out for you, especially when they're toddlers, to keep them protected. But once you become aware that you're actually doing it, that's a different ballgame altogether.
Okay.
Astral, there are a lot of dangerous things and a lot of really fun things in astral. And fun stuff can be everything from literally going from Earth to numerous planets in our system, to other galaxies, I mean, you can have all kinds of fun.
Okay.
What?
So I have a question with that, though.
Yeah.
So with certain theories in quantum physics, it is said that anything perceived does exist.
There's a lot of things that you can perceive in astral, and then there are some things that you cannot.
But what I'm asking is, can you go into realms that only exist in, let's say, video games? Because according to some theories, those realms would exist in another plane of existence. So, like,
Lord of the Rings?
The Lord of the Rings, the Simpsons world, everything would exist in a different plane of existence.
Not to my understanding
No?
and knowledge. No.
Okay. Because, like,
Rosella?
you guys have said before, you can create things.
There's a lot of different things you can create, but
not like a different.
You can create a realm.
I mean, I've never tried.
Conception. Now that I would refer to Robert, because he is the one that I know for a fact that can, and it is fact to me because he's taken me. He can go.
Yeah.
He can go through, not just, he can open portals, but he can open actual vortexes.
So, Robert, can you create realms?
Well,
Or
Well, to quote, which one is it? Buddha with the scriptures, with our thoughts we make the worlds. That's true.
so,
Whatever we can think up here, we can make. Because I got some really kick-ass weapons for those wannabe demons.
yeah.
So if you know enough knowledge about a certain world, you can create it?
Yeah, I've made several. Like I've made just planets made out of ore with protectors on it. I've actually encountered the Silver Surfer, like the one that they characterize into the comics, and he's nothing like the comics. He's totally different. He's a lot friendlier. I've got realms that I've come across. I didn't make them, but I come across them, and they got the dragons in them. So I've been to the dragons' homeworlds. There's another place I've been to that I've actually found a. It's like an underground lake that glows really bright blue, and that's where I've been able to get a lot of the old style magic from. And that it's a healing lake. I've actually built several houses in there for other people that I've taken. Like I've taken Mindy there. She's seen it. Nikki knows Mindy that I'm talking about. Yeah, I've given her some tips on how to do things in there. It's like a training ground, basically. Oh, there's Cole's hand.
No, that wasn't Cole's hand.
Just readjusting Kayla.
You know, I gotta be honest. I just find it really creepy that we have two screenings of Nikki because of the way that our camera plays. So I'm like, there's Nikki, and there's Other Realm Nikki up top. I'm just really happy that the other one doesn't have button eyes. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. What is the best protection to do before you go into Astral?
Can I answer this one? Okay, this sounds really weird, but can I answer this one?
Okay.
That, I believe, really depends on the person.
Yep.
Okay? Because it's totally different from person to person. You can't just, like, widescreen it. Just like different types of protection for going into anywhere. It would have to be specific to you.
Yep, and your belief system. Everybody's different with their religion, with their belief system, how they do things. So, yeah, it's individualized. However, there are things that are almost like standardized in a lot of ways. But yeah.
Like I would say you lock the goddamn door.
Well, yeah. So basically, if you believe it,
I literally asked because I knew my grandmother was on the other side. I didn't know at the time that she was my spirit guide. But because I knew my grandmother was on the other side, I said, Grandma, I'm asking you to ask Jesus and ask God to protect my soul. This is what I want to do. And for whatever reason, I knew she had an end. And I don't know why and how I knew that, but it was one of those quote unquote knowing things that I used to call it back in the day. And I would meditate a specific way and then go into Astral and go all over. Well, I used to hit, I think it was Saturn. It was either Venus. I used to hit those two and then I couldn't go beyond it because I would get frightened. So yeah, it just you protect how you know. I don't know. I can only make assumptions as to how Rosella protects. I know how Robert protects. And I've worked together an awful lot. So how do you
But I come visit you and bug you.
Yeah, there are times.
Yeah. It's been fun.
Well, at least
for me.
smoke and you don't drink, and I appreciate that because your energy is much lighter and brighter than the government asshats in Astral to come and visit.
Smoke what?
This. So,
When you say smoke what?
one smokes cigars and the other one smokes cigarettes, and then a woman, she's got 2 homes on the East Coast, and she smells of cat litter, and she's a professional. So she's not bathed in cat litter, but anytime she cleans her cat box, guess what I smell? I don't smell the cat shit, I smell the cat litter. I smell the dust. So not only that, you can tell by their energy, but everybody's got their own energy, and sometimes it's familiar to us and sometimes it's not. And If you've got different clairs, you can actually smell the person themselves or their body odor. If they've got bad BO, you're going to smell it. If their energy is wonky, you're going to feel it. Even when you're in astral, you will feel, if you come across somebody else in astral, you will be able to immediately feel their energy, their vibe, for lack of a better word at the moment. And it gets really rather interesting really fast. You'll know when, you typically will know when to run, unless it's a wannabe. Now, wannabes can hide, wannabes, demons, they can actually hide and mask their energy signatures usually really well. So you got to be very careful with things like that.
Now,
I mean, things can hurt you
Yes.
in that, and I think that's important to talk about. Like, I told the story a few times because it's the only time that something dangerous has happened to me, like pretty much in astral. But like Nikki was saying before, I don't know that I'm sometimes doing it. It's usually when I'm asleep or I'm stressed, or I'm usually thinking that I'm dreaming. So, and then other ways now, like over the years, I've learned to control it more. But once I was in astral, flying, and pretty much actually locally nearby, but it was like kind of like country kind of setting outside of town, and there was an old graveyard, and I was flying near it, and then all of a sudden this like hand reached out from a grave and started to pull me down inside the ground. I mean, it was the scariest moment of my whole existence. So I got myself free by praying pretty much down, like as it drug me down. But it was really terrifying. And when you do, like good things, basically, and you're helping people all the time, like with what I do, I always say I'm God's messenger. I'm helping people through what I do. And I'm talking with angels and working with pretty much God all the time and the spirits, then they really will try to kind of come for you. So, pretty much like Robert was saying, and when like scripture says, like, and the more work you do, the more that they will try to come and attack you. So that's definitely what happened to me. And I realized I did not do that protection before, So, because I think I told Nikki about it like right afterwards. I mean, it freaked me out. I felt like I couldn't breathe, and it shocked me back into my body as well. And I think they did that to protect me, like my angel guide. Like I think that pretty much just like boom, but it scared the crap out of me for a long time. So you just gotta protect, like really protect yourself in whatever shape or form you find, beforehand. So I say like a prayer of intent before I know I'm going to do it. And it's usually if I want to just go somewhere like that I have not seen before, kind of thing, like a castle and island or something kind of hokey or stupid. But like, hey, and I've walked around like, some monarch castles a few times.
Right. You're just over there floating, kissing the Blarney Stone. Hey.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because my friend told me all about this tour she took in the 80s, and they don't do it anymore. I think, what was that? And it was like where Meghan and Harry got married, and I cannot think of the name right now. But that was the castle that I was
at the
walking
Windsor?
around. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I could see where the fires had taken place, like in the walls. It was very like interesting. So, yeah, that's the stuff that I kind of do. And it's just like, okay, I've always wanted to go to see this or do this. I'm curious. I'm going to go. And so I'll do a protection thing. But I'm like, I'll if I'm doing it for intent, I'm like still awake in like a meditative state, I guess, in a way. But the other, if I'm asleep, I mean, I'm out. And that's where I go usually torture Nikki if I'm stressed. And I don't know if I'm doing it. And it's just like, what happened as soon as I wake up? And it's usually when I'm napping, which is funny. Like if I go to sleep and I'm stressed and I'm like, I go to, because I never really nap. And then she'll call me like right away or message me. What's going on? Why are you stressed? And there is a lot of people when they'll do it because they're stressed. So
Yeah.
It's kind of like a common thing.
It's their way out of their bodies. So, and it's freeing. It's very freeing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which it really does. I used to travel to the beach a lot. I used to go to the ocean.
And my comfort is your house, apparently. So it's like, yeah. And I think it is always funny that, like, yeah, like I went to the comforting spot where somebody will, take care of me, kind of thing, and talk me through it. So when I do go kind of back to my body in a way, it's like, okay, we're dealing with this now, so this doesn't, happen again. But yeah, so, and people, I have talked to a lot of people over the years, especially clients, and they're like, I didn't know that I was doing that. I always wondered about that. Or they didn't know what astral was. They've never heard of it before. But a lot of people will do it without knowing that they're doing it and just thinking they're dreaming. Very common.
It's common for kids to do it all the time too, which is why they are so wound up especially for toddlers. I mean, had a hell of a time with my kid when he was that age and going out, and he'd literally wake me up calling me, Mama, come on. And then when he was older, it was, Mom, come on, let's go. Where are we going? I found a place. I want to show you. It's really cool. Okay. Let me go back to sleep. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot of different things that they get to play as toddlers in astral realm, and then when they come back into their physical body, it's really hard for them to get back to sleep. If they've woken up, it's like playtime all over again, and it's, a lot of parents don't even recognize that that's really what's going on. It was a heck of an eye-opener to me as a I was going to say first-time mom, but I that's not accurate anymore. So, but yeah, it gets real interesting when you've got kids who are in cribs, and, well, not so much, I was going to say cradles, but not so much cradles, but in young toddlers who are doing astral. Thank God for their spirit guides and our loved ones on the other side, because they're with them. I mean, they're, to my understanding, they're with them.
I agree.
Watching them, and it never dawned on me, but some of those kids, that's probably why they know each other, not only from past lifetimes, but because they've got a playground of other kids who are doing it. Never thought of that until just now. So,
me either. I didn't think of that. I don't really go, I guess, that deep. I'm just traveling.
Well, when you get, there's a lot of folks that I've known in the last 7 years or so that astral on a regular, I mean, like a really regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to places like government places, and a lot of the government places, they're dangerous to go to in astral. They're dangerous to go to in physical, but in astral, a lot of these government locations have ETs that are protecting the locations, the property itself, or even the buildings.
What about like ancient structures?
You can even have astral guards and some of these places. And it's interesting because at one time that the White House had it. The White House had some kind of protection level in astral.
Hey, I got a quick question about going to places in astral. Can you go to like ancient structures and visit inside of them?
Yes.
Like, are you talking ones that don't exist anymore? Like the
like
Lighthouse of Alexandria or something?
The pyramids of Giza, or Mayan structures that are still deep in the forest, or places like that.
You can, if you're drawn to something like that, your soul will take you there almost instantaneously.
Huh.
Okay, but then I got a question that's directly for you, Nikki, since you have the most experience, it seems, with past lives. When you go to a place like that, and you were there in a past life, are you going to see it as it is or as it was?
You see it in both ways.
Okay.
It's a trip and okay, here's for me, it's been a trip and a half because I'm seeing it through my physical eyes, and at the same time, I'm seeing. Have you ever seen the movie? I was going to say Mask. That's not what I mean. Have you ever seen the movie The Mummy?
Yep.
It's the second one where she is, where the main character, I cannot think of the character's name.
Anaxanamun.
Well, yes, but no.
She plays the
Oh,
the
Anna.
Yeah. So,
I know a lot about the Mummy. Just stop it.
I love that. It's the only thing that even remotely comes close is one, or actually two specific scenes where one specific one that I've got where she's literally saying, I don't know how I'm doing this. And yet it's her soul with her hand from a past lifetime, and she's turning the knob on opening this gigantic doorway. And it's very much like that. You're literally seeing in both worlds at the same freaking time. It is a trip and a half. I've had that happen more times than I can count. Regarding past lifetimes, it's really rather freaky. There have been times where I've been walking in sand, which doesn't happen very often anymore, but back when I was walking in sand barefoot, there were times where I would have not just Egypt, but Atlantis. Then there were times where I was walking in mud, but I was walking in sand at the time on a beach. It's a trip. Especially when you've got little kids around you at the time and you're hearing them laugh and they're playing in the water and you're seeing things that aren't there, but you know damn well that you're not nuts, you're not crazy. And it's from a past lifetime, and it's like, oh my God, I'm there. I'm really there. And yet you're standing there on a beach. And it can make you really feel like you're losing your marbles when you know that, and you can also have the sense of smell with it, sense of taste, or depending upon who you are or how your own energy runs or how your own abilities run, or how strong they are, it can be a real trip and a half. There was a time when I was on a video call with some other ladies, and somebody described something, and the next thing I know, I'm in a past lifetime, yet I'm seeing them on the phone, on the video call, and yet at the same time, my soul is remembering every detail of what this person just described. And yet more detail than what this person described. A lot more detail, like finite detailed things. And I'm like, whoa.
Like you can't have never not been there before because you know it too well.
Could actually really mess you up.
Oh, trust me, it has on a couple of occasions.
Well,
it's taken a lot of time and a lot of energy on my part to pull me back and be a viewer and not in the moment of going back into that. And I'm like, I even started having, in that specific situation, I even started language. I couldn't think of the word. some of the language, some of the Atlantean language. I was like,
Well,
I gotta stop.
I'm not even that far thinking that far back, but like just thinking of like you're walking through any town on the West Coast during the gold rush, and all of a sudden you're in a building that's no longer there, and you're actually in the middle of a street, like just walking down the street, but you end up in the room of a brothel.
Because a lot of during those times, a lot of those streets were not really streets; they were mud.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking of like because you said the smells can come through. Oh my God!
Ew.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the things with, I was going to say the Atlantean one, I had a lot of ocean smell, but in one of my other lifetimes, I was reading a book, I don't even remember what the hell the sentence was, and I put the book down, and I remember, doing just what I just did, which was rub my eyes, and because my eyes were starting to bother me, and I was like, why am I thinking of that sentence in that book? And the next thing I know, I'm having a flashback of a memory, but I'm there. I'm like my soul. It's like,
Yeah, that happened to me.
I was there, and it was during a time when it was beyond the Roman soldiers. It was beyond that lifetime. It was, I was shoveling cow manure, and I wouldn't even call it because it wasn't a shovel. It was more like a pitchfork. And how do you shovel cow shit when you've got what you can only describe as a pitchfork? I'm like, that's a whole other subject. But the smell,
Yeah, it's like I could like even like feel like I remember sitting, and I remember looking around the room, moving my head, and then seeing around the room, and then feeling my dress. Like I could feel the dress and the weight on my body because it was so heavy. And that really freaked me out.
So
See, now I can understand why to this day, when I'm in Nevada, I hate having, when it's just rained, because my mom lived there for a short amount of time. Short. And I went down to help with 2 pieces of property down there. And when it rains and you're walking in shorts, because hello, it's 90 degrees, it rains, things there, the dirt is different. It's very, very different than in Washington State, or really anywhere. It's very much desert, and when it gets wet, it adheres to your skin. And now I understand why I hated that lifetime. Not just shoveling shit, but the mud was caked in, and it was like seeped into every pore. Well, that's what it was like when I was in Nevada, when I was walking around in tennis shoes and shorts and a t-shirt, and you'd get this caked mud on your shoes, and it when you'd go to lift your foot up, you'd throw bits of mud onto the back of your legs, because you couldn't help it, because it was literally
Right, it's almost like clay.
Yeah, it is a clay. It's called bentonite.
Oh, okay.
It is miserable because it adheres to like every pore and follicle, and it's a pain in the butt to deal with. And I now understand why I don't like certain areas in the country, because it reminds me of those past lifetimes of dealing with the mud that I was dealing with. I was in Europe at the time. About that a second. It wasn't England. I think it was France. But anyway, yeah. I mean, you get things like that to where certain lifetimes will affect this lifetime that you're in. There are certain things that you don't like now, most likely came from a past lifetime. Now, I loved playing in mud when I was a kid. Loved it. Used to make the patties and, did all the things and built the mud houses and all this stuff. Loved it. That is different in comparison to when you're remembering past lifetimes and when you're getting flicks of mud or clay thrown at the backs of your legs and how it affects your skin. There are things that will, and that's a little thing. That's such a minor thing, but that's what it did for me. And it's just like, oh my God. And now I understand why there are certain things I just cannot tolerate. And that's why. And a lot of people go through these things. I know somebody who's terrified. They drive, but they're absolutely terrified of driving, have no sense of where they're going whatsoever, get lost extremely easily. And I went to tell this individual, I said, do you understand that you were in a buckboard and you had an accident and you were driving at the time? And
Yeah.
this is why you are having issues with why you're so terrified.
Yeah.
I gotta stop you for a second. Robert, I don't know what you're doing, but it don't look good, bud. That didn't help because that looked like lotion.
I thought about that.
It's moisturizing lotion on the leg.
Okay.
Actually, Cole, can I do a shout out real quick? Is that okay? Before my person here goes to sleep, possibly. So Sandy Barnett, she's my good friend, kind of like adopted mother and stuff, and she's awesome. But she's listening to us right now, so she's kind of getting onto the technology and learning it, so she can follow us. But hi, Sandy.
No, she's been doing great. She's been putting in comments and.
Oh, good.
So
okay. I can't keep up with that and then listen to this. I'm getting old.
I've got us on 3 screens right now, so.
I don't know how you're doing that. I'm like, I can't multitask like this anymore and listen. I'll miss something.
Hey,
but that's awesome.
Quick question about Astral. How do you actually start to
How do you
enter?
do it?
How do you get there?
How do you get in? How do you get inside?
Everybody else needs to answer that before I do because mine is old school shit.
Meditation. Lots of meditation.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
meditation though. I mean, if you're a newbie,
and projecting your thoughts.
How did you guys do it?
Well, I mean, when I actually figured out that that's what I was doing through my dreams, and I was really going to places, I had several instances where it proved that I was definitely getting thrusted kind of back into my body kind of during situations. So I figured out that's what it was. But then after that, I tried to control it more. So I didn't do that. When I was stressed or curious about something. So I started to basically do that protection of asking my guide, who's Archangel Raphael, to make sure that he watches over me. And this is where I was going to, go, an intention of where to go. And, when I felt like calling it quits, then I could go right back. So it was not, I did not find it hard for me at all to kind of control it after 4 times. I'm a person who believes in a lot of meditation, and practice makes perfect with that. So even if somebody can build themselves up every other day or 3 days a week to 5 minutes a day, they can get stronger. And if you make it to 20 minutes, I'd say with ADD and all the things that we have going on in the world right now, you're not alone. So 20 minutes is pretty good. So I think that's kind of easily been my cutoff, is that 20 minutes, half an hour, sometimes 40 minutes, just if I'm interested in something.
Okay, so I'm gonna answer this as your mother for a minute here, okay?
Ooh.
But to other people as well.
This is a new one.
And there really are certain people that just really shouldn't do it.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
Like, there are a select group of people that whether you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
Right. I agree. Are you saying I shouldn't?
No.
No, I'm one of those.
I'm looking at my kid saying he
Oh.
probably should not do that.
But-
I will
he's-
say, John,
What
don't
if-
do it.
what
if he's anything
tells
like-
me not to do anything.
Well, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. You are a mix between me and your father, who both of us should not be anywhere near there. So the likelihood of you should be there is probably not very high.
But should be and can be are two different.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
Just because
John,
you
I have to
can
agree with
doesn't
you.
mean
You're
you
such
should.
a nice kid, but protecting yourself is just like, it's so hard to do, like when you're younger too. So I'd have to, I say to people, like, my advice is kind of like be above 30. So you just, that experience is there, that life experience. And right, Nikki?
Well, I mean, you can also, this isn't mentioned very often, but
I don't want to hurt
you
myself. No, don't throw myself in there.
can also get stuck.
Hey.
Kinda. I don't know how to explain that other than you can kind of get stuck. And for certain people, it's like playing video games too, where you become addicted to it almost. And
Yeah.
you end up
Well, I
living
think there
more
are
of
people
your
who do that.
more of your life in Astral than your actual life.
Yes, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's entering a realm that you don't want to be part of.
Yeah, I do agree. Like, there's a lot of people, actually, my grandmother used to be like, there's people who just, go to sleep, just like sleep their life away because they're miserable, in their awake life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do
So-
agree that is.
Yeah, like building a
dangerous.
dream world to live in. It's like a
Right.
disconnect from reality for certain people, and for certain people, that's all they can really live in.
Yeah, I agree. And mostly those people have a lot of, they're going through mental struggles that they need to get help for before I recommend doing something like this. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Robert, how did you get going in it?
Well, I believe mine started with drawing pain out of people across the world. Actually started doing that. I think that it was either a dark entity that was up in the loft of my parents' spare parts business, or the 11-year-old ghost of a cancer patient that died on the land that helped me, because I started doing it then. And then in 2014, I believe it was, I started fiddling around with portals, and I was able to open and close them at will. And from there, I progressed to doing the Astral, because at that point in time, there were the major fires over in Canada, and I was helping to keep an eye on a certain person's place that she won't talk about now. But yeah, I was helping him out by keeping an eye on the place, actually keeping an eye on the place by being there. Found out that he had an elemental in his house, so I started talking with them, and I think they gave me some guidance as well, and I then transferred from that into doing Astral and portals at the same time, because there was another friend that she was living in a caravan at the time, like one of those RV trailer type things, and she had let her dog out in the little yard that they had, and she said, my dog's disappeared. And so I actually went to the trailer, looked out, and I could see like a purple glowy orb type thing. I said, you have a portal in your yard. And about 3 seconds later, the dog came bolting back in from the portal. So that's how I really got into it. And then I said to her, if you think that's weird, watch this. And she was smoking, and the smoke was trailing straight up because she was in the caravan. Then all of a sudden, the smoke started going a different direction when I opened up the portal. So, but that's just how I began, and now I can just do it pretty much at will. Christopher Fisher, if you're watching, I actually went to excuse me the vaults under the Vatican. He went there as well, and he had the same sort of experience I had. A big astral guard that was protecting the vaults. So I found another way in, an old viaduct that they forgot about.
Oh.
But I think that's been taken up and closed up now too. So, but yeah, a few people can go in together if they're thinking at the same place.
Now that's
cool.
just teamwork bit of info.
Bryn.
So learning portals first was my way in, and then I just transferred over to being astral, and then making portals as well, and getting there faster.
How I did it.
Before you answer, Nikki.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer as your father.
God.
Your turn.
You have been constantly told and have told us that you are planning to take over this world. Do that before you try and go into another one. Okay?
Huh?
I've never told you that.
You have constantly told us that. It's going to start with your own
Pinky
cult,
and the Brain
and
style.
then eventually you're going to become the president of the United States, and then the president of Canada, because you're going to change it to a presidency, and then you are going to take over the entire world.
Oh, jeez. You're actively busy.
Yeah.
Hey, but that
You laid this
Remember
entire
us
plan
peons
out
later?
for your grandfather.
Oh, I remember that. Oh.
Huh?
What in the world?
I missed it. I missed the last part of what you just said, Cole.
Okay, so he plans to first start his own cult, and then he's going to become the president of the United States. Then he's going to become the president of Canada, because he's going to change the Canada's government system to a presidency, and then he's going to take over the world.
This was like when I was like a young child.
This was like 8 months ago.
It was not 8 months ago.
Sorry, no, it wasn't 8 months ago. It was 2 years ago. It was only 2 years.
Yeah, and I changed. I've become a completely new person from back then.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, anyhow, Nikki, how did you start?
Pinky in the brain. Pinky in the brain.
Yeah.
I
love that.
He's all pinky, no brain.
Hey.
You get that from your mother.
Which is actually more dangerous, because Pinky was the one that actually made things work.
Yeah, Pinky was the genius. Brain was the one that was insane.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well,
Now I have the song going through my head.
Oh my gosh, have you ever listened to that song in Dutch?
Oh my god.
No.
Okay, so if you look it up on YouTube, you can listen to the Pinky and the Brain intro in Dutch, and it adds a whole new level of scary to that show. Like, it is super creepy. Just throwing that out there.
I gotta look that up.
All right. I'll have to do this.
Okay,
It's
so
interesting.
how I got started was my mom was reading a book by Shirley MacLaine, Out on a Limb. And mom was like, Nikki, you really need to read this. And she did not instigate me reading any of the books that she read. She was like, if you're interested, they're there on the bookcase. No worries, not a big thing. But this one, she's like, you need to read this. And I started reading. I think she had read it like for the third time. And she put it back on the bookcase, on the family bookcase. And I finally just went, all right, I'll read it. What the hell is so special about this book? come to find out, one of the methods that Miss McLean wrote about was using essentially candle magic, what I call candle magic. And it was what she was taught by, oh God, I don't remember what country, and I don't want to say it because I know it's going to be wrong. But one of the countries that she went to and that she dearly loved. And I was going to say it's like a monk or somebody that taught her, but that's not right. Anyway, so I got a candle, large candle, and to this day I still use. I still have candles around. Whether I use them or not is a different matter, but usually use them for emergency. But when I really want to get into an extremely deep meditation, and this is real old school, because you're dealing with living flame. Living flame, when you're burning a candle, you have earth, air, fire, water, okay? Mm-hmm. You're dealing with the elements. Well, you're dealing with an elemental in flame when it deals with flame. And I knew that, but I didn't fully understand it like I do now. You got to remember, I was 16 or 17 years old at the time.
Would incense also help that?
What?
Would incense also help that?
No.
No?
It's literally, for me, what I did, and it took a long time. It took me about 3 weeks of doing this to where I would not fall asleep immediately, because I would put the candle in a safe location to where there was nothing around it. I mean, there was so like if there was any, because I knew that popping of candles can happen if you get an air pocket. Now that I've taught candle making years and years ago, I understand why that happens. Usually it's very rare when you get a manufactured candle. But I wanted to be sure that this was going to be put on a very large dinner plate, that if I did fall asleep, that everything would be safe. Nowadays, I would not recommend doing what I did, because there's too many things that can happen with an unmanned candle.
Yeah.
Way too many things. And so, but this is what I did back then. And I burned a candle, and I essentially trained myself over the course of many weeks to not fall asleep, but to stay focused on that candle. And that was my key. For me, I needed something to be able to focus on that was living. So like if you've got running water, or if you've got like constantly flowing water, for me, living flame was flame worked. An open fire pit. You can sit in a camp chair, and if you've got other people around who are manning the campfire, then you've got a safe situation with that, where you can sit in your camp chair and you can focus in on a specific flame in that campfire. And it's all about your focus ability. Every aspect of it is how you focus. It's how you train your brain to master this. Now, everybody is different. There are many, many, many different teaching techniques that are out on the market, so to speak. You got Joe McMoneagle, who teaches all kinds of information about astral and doing different things. There's so many others out there that teach it. But this is what I learned, and it was because of that book, because of Shirley MacLaine's book, Out on a Limb. And I continued to work with my ability to focus and trained myself over the course of a number of weeks, and got to the point to where I wasn't afraid to go. And that was the one thing in the book that I remember Shirley talking about, was the fact that you have to protect your soul. That's what she was taught, was that you have to protect your soul. Well, I never thought anything about that. I'm like, okay, so how do I go about doing that? So each time I tried this, I always said, hey, Grandma, or I would go, eventually I got straight to God and started saying, okay, God, I need protection. I need to protect. How do I go about doing that? I'm asking you, I'm asking the positive beings that are out there to help protect my soul, to help protect my body, because when and if I actually go out of body, my body is unprotected, and I don't want an entity, some other entity, coming into my body and trying to take control of my body while I am gallivanting around. And that was actually one of my biggest concerns. That was actually more scary to me than dealing with the flame, the open flame. So over time, I got myself to the point to where I could release. That was the other thing, is releasing from your body. Another issue of it was, if you have any fear whatsoever, when you're in astral, you will come back like a shot straight into your body, and you will actually hit so hard in your body that your body will bounce. If you're on, you'll bounce, because you're coming in hot. I mean, you are coming in like a bullet. Because fear, any kind of fear, will force you back right into your body instantaneously, and you'll come in burning hot. I mean, it's incredible.
Just a question: can that happen with remote viewing as well?
Yeah. If you get scared, if something you see scares you, and it can happen in higher consciousness too, because remote viewing is different than higher consciousness. Yet on some level, it's real similar, but it's not exactly the same. So if you go from remote viewing to extreme higher consciousness, where you're parted out numerous different levels, if you see something that truly frightens you, that one section will come back you're like being slapped with a rubber band, and it will hurt. It will physically hurt. And I've had that happen only once.
Okay.
Extreme higher consciousness. But
I've had that happen. It does. When you hit your body, it hurts.
Is there anything else that can cause that other than fear?
I mean, if something kind of like jumps out at you, or something just pretty much like coming after you, and like that's what threw me back into mine. I only had it happen 2 times, but if you just were like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. If you thought that maybe really quickly before you kind of had a chance to decide, and maybe your higher conscious did decide for you, it could rip you back.
Yep.
And I kind of call it rip you back, because that's what it feels like.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I've had it happen twice, once in extreme higher consciousness, and once when I was when I went too far and I got freaked out.
So, okay, because I've told you guys before that I have these dreams where I'm literally falling from a building. I didn't jump off the building in the dream. I didn't do any of that. I am just falling.
You can teach yourself to fly in the dream.
Well, no, I can't. Never been able to. I've never been able to change that dream. But I hit the ground. And I die. And I can see it in third person view. And then, when I wake up, what wakes me up is my body actually bounces off the bed. Where I implant into the bed, and I've actually bounced Kayla out of beds before. with how hard I hit.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That reminds me of it sounds like past lifetime. That's what it's reminding me of, is a past lifetime you are reliving in your dreams. Now,
Well, that sucks.
whether that is true or not, that's what it sounds like to me. I'm not picking anything up psychically on it, but
Right.
that's what.
Because
Psychologically, I mean, you know, I have my psychology degrees and everything. I mean, if you were one of my clients, I'd be telling you, you know, as a psychologist, that this is a huge fear. And that would cause your body to even do that.
see, and that's the thing. Like, I've had so many experiences in my life. I am not scared to die. It's going to happen. I know it. I don't know when. That's fine.
Well, it could be an unconscious, even still from a past life, but you're bringing it into this. It's still a fear. Like we'll bring like what we have, our fears from past lives into this life, even if it's like 3 back or 1 back. That happens a lot. It's unconscious. It's an unconscious imprint.
Well, I'm almost wondering if I'm actually scared of what happens afterwards.
Yeah, that's
where
possible.
I get stuck.
I think that, yeah, that's very possible.
Friend. Because, like, I have had warnings about going into Astral and that kind of stuff from other entities, so I know I'm not supposed to be there. So, I don't imagine it's that, right?
It's still a fear, though. That's still like a fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, it's weird, because, like, I have a dresser right beside my side of the bed, to put my elbow on, and I've hit hard enough that I actually bruised the bone in my arm.
I'm not surprised.
Friend. Well, yeah, I guess if I'm bouncing Kayla off the bed, that's bruising a bone shouldn't be much.
It sucks.
Yeah, that would.
You're not the one who hit the ground. Don't even.
I did the one time.
It sounds like she would fly out of bed.
No.
Friend.
That's why we don't own a waterbed. Come on now.
That's not the reason.
Can you imagine? Oh, God.
So funny.
One of my friend's parents had a waterbed when we were little. We used to play on that thing. And that is the weirdest. I never understood them.
Waves.
Like, number one, if someone has sharp toenails, you're popping that thing. I don't care. And then you're waking up wet. Who wants that? Like,
yeah. I don't get that. My friends all had water beds, and they would rock themselves to sleep.
They're cold.
They don't have to be.
Yeah, we had to heat ours up. Yeah, they were freezing. Even down here, they were cold when they put water into them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like now, because my husband, before like we met, like he had one as a kid, and then I had a friend who had one as well, and she would, you would spend the night with her, and she would rock herself to sleep, and it would wake me up, like it was just crazy, and she would do it. She didn't know she was unconsciously she was doing it in her sleep, but like they're freezing cold unless you have a warmer, and some people have warmers for them. But it would like leak all the time, and these little like weird things would pop out that levels the water or something. And I'm like, why would you want to put yourself through this? A lot of work.
Yeah, I used to know people that had electric blankets to keep them warm.
Well, that's
I can see why.
Blanket with a
blanket with a water bed. Yeah, that's super
Why don't we just
smart.
throw the toaster in there as well? That way we have fresh toast in the morning.
I didn't even think about that until you said it.
Oh,
God.
Actually, You guys know TikTok?
Nope, never heard of it.
There's a company in the TikTok shop that now sells bath bombs, and they're in the shapes of toaster, and it's called the Last Bath Bomb. I love those things.
I kind of want to get one now, just because.
Friend.
That's funny. They're half. I don't know why I would want to actually take care of it. This just sounds like a crap load of work. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm for like whatever less work I don't have to do. Too busy.
Absolutely.
Well, and what I never understood was like, okay, yeah, Kayla said they can be temperature controlled, but like these guys that like my friend's parents, they didn't have that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, back then.
And well, yeah, like this was the late 80s, and we lived in Canada. If your power went out, friend, your bed's frozen.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Friend, I never understood it.
Just have an iceberg for a bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can see the appeal for it.
Had stoves, wood burning stoves, keep the house warm.
Mm-hmm.
But the bed's still cold. You're still gonna have a cold bed.
They just naturally ran.
Yeah.
Like this is one of the old. Think of an old, bigger farmhouse.
Yep.
Oh, so it's drafty and shit too.
Yeah. So like, even if you have a wood burning stove in the house,
yeah,
it is not keeping the entire house clean. Your bedrooms are cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not clean, hot.
I remember the power going out this one year. Okay, this is really weird, and it just hit me in the face. But when somebody said wood burning stove, but I remember the power at our place going out this one year, and it was Thanksgiving, and we had a whole bunch of people coming over for Thanksgiving. So we had this giant wood burning oven out in the garage, and we cooked everything for Thanksgiving dinner out in the garage in this wood burning oven. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that's okay. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I don't really know anybody who had really a wood burning stove. But my husband's grandparents, but they never really used it.
Is it not really a big thing over there? Because it's huge here. Like in our area, it's huge.
Well, they're pretty much like ripped out now. And it was like in the 70s or beforehand, they would have them, but they did not build them in the 80s. So, if they had it, like in an old farmhouse still, like his grandparents had it, but they built that house probably in the 50s or 60s.
Like I know
so when they got married and stayed there.
Some of my classmates in college actually have some wood burning.
Well, and like I said, in Washington, especially in this part of Washington, and I think it's because our power goes out so often over here, it's like every other person I know has a wood burning stove in their house.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not here. Like if you have a fireplace, like that's more common. Mm-hmm. But mostly now they're electrical, that they're putting them in and they're ripping out the old ones. So people really don't have wood burning fireplaces that much anymore.
Okay. We have a lot of wood burning and a lot of pellet stoves, like all over the place.
Yeah.
But I really do think it's probably due to our electrical grid. Like we can spend a week sometimes without electricity in the winter time. So you got to keep warm somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my parents, they're in Michigan, and they have a generator in case the power goes out because of all the storms, all the time.
Yeah.
Because they'll get like 10 feet of snow, no joke, in one day. It's insane. And then it just is like every day will kind of pile up like that. So they have the generator, and it's on automatic kick on. Within 30 seconds, it will turn on.
Oh, nice.
But they'll have the power go off in the middle of the summer. Like you'll be up there in the shower, all of a sudden the power's gone. And you're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
So we, like, I think it's because we get really heavy winds here. And because our ground is so wet and saturated that a lot of the trees will fall on the lines.
And especially during the rainy seasons.
Yeah, during any of the rainy seasons, we have floods and we have all kinds of stuff that causes the power to go out for, like I said, sometimes up to a couple of weeks at a time.
And then when we used to live at
Oh,
a
that's
farmhouse,
terrible.
we had swans constantly like diving into the power lines, and our power would just shut out.
Sure they were.
They were.
Sure
What?
they were.
No, Mom can.
I think-
Yeah, Mom killed them all. So yeah.
Oh my god.
It happened like 10 times.
Yeah.
A swan hit the power line in the middle of the day. Some people had to come out, drag the body, and turn it back on.
Was it making a swan dive?
Okay, so
Only when Kayla hit it with a shovel.
Okay, so I did not know this, so I'm going to let everybody know that in Washington State, especially in agricultural areas, if a swan hurts himself on your property, there is a special hotline that you have to call for specific people to come out and recover that
That's
bird.
wildlife.
Why?
You also are absolutely not allowed
Not
to
allowed to
end
touch it.
that bird's suffering or touch it in any way, shape, or form before these people come out.
We just gotta watch it suffer and crawl on the ground.
Horrid.
That also includes if it's just sitting in the middle of a field minding its own business, Kayla.
Oh my god, whatever. But no, seriously, there is a swan hotline you have to call because they are a protected species and they have to figure out the reason for their deaths.
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah, I had no idea until I moved to Stanwood into a farming area and there were swans all over the place. And I had gone outside because a swan had hit the power line and it was suffering and I was going to hit it with a brick. Like, I know that sounds terrible, but like it was like half on fire. Like, I mean, this thing was dying. There was no way that it wasn't. And I was like, oh my god, like I need to put it out of its misery. I don't want it to suffer.
Yeah, me and Hunter were
And
just in the window
a
watching.
lady came and she was driving by and she stopped and she pulled off into the yard and she's like, don't do that. And I'm like, oh, well, don't do what? And she goes, no, you have to call this special hotline. It's this huge thing. You can get like charges put against you for doing that. Like, I'm just letting you know. Like, here's the number for the hotline and like all kinds of stuff. She was like, I live right down the road and this happens all the time. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So
had
why
no
run
idea.
into the power lines?
What people do not understand is that, and this is a big deal, in Skagit County, in Washington State, there are swans that come and congregate in numerous fields in the county.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
400 in a field.
You'll see 400 or 500 swans in the fields. Yeah.
There's quite a lot.
It becomes a viewing sensation. People come out of the woodwork to see these swans.
Oh.
Oh, and I know
They're-
at night sometimes coyotes come out and just like grab one. It's
Yes.
weird.
Oh.
It's so cool
Now,
to see.
I would like to specify that this was the third swan death that Kayla got told that you're not allowed to kill him. On the first two, there was no witnesses that saw it hit the power line.
Hey, let's not put that on the air.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm just saying.
I was just thinking,
I'm just saying.
shut up, Cole.
No,
They know where we live.
those swans deserve their lives. No matter who thinks they don't.
Oh my god.
Just like that squirrel you killed.
That was a total accident. I felt so terrible about that. Okay.
Oh, God.
But we also
No,
saw...
okay, so I was driving a tractor.
For the first time ever.
For the first time ever, I was driving a tractor and it had a wagon on the back of it and we were picking up like yard waste and stuff.
Oh my god, not this one.
And absolutely, like there was a squirrel in front of the tractor and I'm like, he's gonna move. Like they always move. And he didn't move. And I felt so bad because I just ran over a squirrel and I was like, oh my god, no! Like I was crying and everything and I'm like, what happened?
Oh, God, I'd be like,
Yeah,
crying.
it was horrible.
Well, they'll just, like in Ohio, they'll just jump right out in front of your car.
Mhm.
We call it like, they try to like play pretty much suicide. It's so stupid. And they plan on you stopping. So if you don't see them in time, then you hit them. I've called my husband so many times from the road, you got to come get the squirrel. And I make him bury it in our backyard. And I'm crying like crazy.
There was this one
Yeah,
time when
He's so
me and
mad.
my mom were driving quads and there was a squirrel on the power line.
Oh yeah, that
and
was
it
super
touched
weird.
something and it popped, like blew up.
It
Nope.
did. It just like
Nope.
Yeah.
That was
fell
in
over.
Canada, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, it was a gunshot.
That was a gopher.
Oh, that was a gopher.
And that is absolutely 100% A-OK that it disappeared.
Oh my god.
Like, it popped. It was
Yeah,
weird.
no, but it was terrifying because I was like, oh god, and John saw it, like,
Yeah.
In Canada, well, in the prairies, we have to actually hunt gophers. And we do it as target practice for actual hunting other animals because they are so numerous that they actually can, a herd of gophers can actually kill an entire field in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, they're kind of like that with groundhogs here. I mean, they used to be. I don't think it's as bad now, but I'll hear a lot of stuff from farmers like, "Oh, I ran over one. No big deal." And I'm like, "Oh God, it's horrible."
When we were kids, we used to get paid $2 a tail.
So yeah, if you look in the S4 chat, Rosella, I sent a picture of the swans in Skagit County.
Oh, when you...
I thought you were going to say the squirrel.
No.
But you're gonna send like one of them on fire.
It's not dead, is it?
What'd you say, Nikki?
It's a big deal in Skagit County regarding they are followed big time.
Oh,
And huge, just as big as the Tulip Festival in Mount Vernon, Washington.
Yeah, and it brings in a ridiculous amount of tourists during swan season because they
Yes.
want to see them.
Do you know
I mean,
where
I
you know where Francis Road is, Nikki?
Oh God, I know the name. I can't remember exactly.
Between Cedar Woolley and Mount Vernon?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. So I was driving along there because that's my route to take Kayla to work. And entire field full of swans and one pigeon in the center. And I was like, bitch, I see you. You're not hiding from no one.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Hysterical.
The ugly duckling.
Yeah. Like,
He was like adopted by the swan family.
worst Where's Waldo ever.
So funny. I can't believe you guys haven't brought up this blood moon situation.
God,
The
I keep
eclipse
hearing
thing?
about it all over TikTok, and supposedly at around 5 tomorrow is when we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I
5
think it's
p.m. or 5 a.m.
I think it's PM.
Then we won't be able to see it because the moon isn't even out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe
Daylight savings time happened.
I don't know, but yeah,
We're in.
a lot of crazy. I've had like the craziest day. Started when I woke up this morning, which then I texted Nikki about later. Like it's crazy. Well, my day's been crazy since Friday, so you guys know, you know why. But yeah. So it's crazy. I'm like, oh, good. It's not even the 13th and the 14th when it's supposed to be really insane.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I have been too excited. We are
About
one
it?
step closer. Again. To Cole getting a velociraptor.
oh my God,
Oh,
no.
God.
Yeah. Wow.
We now have woolly mice.
Oh, no way.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They genetically engineered a woolly mammoth into a mouse.
I need to look.
Worst place for it ever. I will say that. Because they did it in Texas.
Why would you
Like-
have woolly mouths in Texas?
Right? That's
That's
the
just-
hottest.
Wow.
They did it in the hottest place they could.
That poor freaking mouse.
Oh.
And it'll have anxiety because if it's taken off the woolly mammoth,
God, they look so
elephants
adorable.
are scared of mice, so they're going to be scared of each other.
Right?
It scares itself. That's great. It's gonna be like a fainting sheep.
Show it a mirror.
Yeah. Woolly mammoths or woolly mice with anxiety issues.
They look so adorable.
But they are cute as hell.
Look at them. I just sent one to the...
What does that have to do with a blood moon?
No, I've been too excited to think about anything else. I'm getting my velociraptor soon.
You're not getting a
Well, I've just
velociraptor.
looked it up on Friday down here. I will be able to see it at 6:16 p.m. For 31 minutes. So if I can get outside with the camera, I'll probably take pictures of it.
Nice.
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 I'm surprised my husband hasn't told me yet because he loves to get up and do these things.
Will you still, like, you said 5:30 p.m.?
6.
But are
Me?
you going to be able to see it at that point?
I don't know when I'm going to be able to. I think that ours is like 5 in the morning, but
It says from moonrise, so I'm assuming 6:16 will be when moonrise happens.
is that you, Robert, or me?
Yeah.
But it should stay blood moon the whole night, right? Like,
No.
Well, it
Uh,
says 45 minutes.
It's only gonna stay blood red for a few minutes unless the 3 trumpets start blowing.
Since this one's on a delay, look at Nikki's face right away.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna, seeing as though we totally went off topic talking about woolly
Yes.
mice and everything else. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta go off topic to say, when he brought up the trumpets, though, have you guys seen those videos that are going around about the weird, like, phenomena in the sky?
The river's turning red.
Nikki,
like,
didn't you put one in our group chat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say apocalypse, right?
Actually,
I've seen some Bible stuff like the Bible is right, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Yeah, well,
because there's rivers
rivers
turning blood
blood red.
And scientists have no idea why it's happening.
And they looked at it, and it wasn't the algae. Like,
Yeah.
usually the reason
like,
for
I
the
know
rivers
that.
running red is, like, algae, a certain type of it.
East.
Yeah, but there's, like, 2 rivers that started rolling blood red, but they can't figure out why.
And
Like, there's no algae in
Because
it.
just outside of their Google image, they missed the guy pouring dye into the river.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it could really be anything. Like, there's that whole toxic river that was bright green for a while, and that's because people were pouring toxic waste into it.
Oh,
So,
I also heard that
or food coloring or
coloring.
something.
the moon
Yeah.
is slowly
I
rusting.
wouldn't put it past. Oh, so I looked it up
Yes.
here in Ohio
Yeah, the
where I
moon
am.
is,
It's 2:26 a.m.
Rusting.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So
So
it's not too terrible.
So that should be 5 a.m.
That should
for
be
us.
about 5 a.m.
See,
for
I was
us.
correct.
For
Yeah.
once.
I was correct. I was right.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll be getting up for
But yeah, no, John is right too. The moon is rusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about that too. That's all crazy.
I keep on getting religious
Oh,
stuff
weird.
about that. Because the
Is that real?
yeah.
Yeah, the Pink Lake in Australia.
Pretty.
Oh. Is that because of salt?
Not really sure what it is, but it's a natural phenomenon.
Oh, that's wow.
So
Huh.
It looks like the Himalayan salt kind of thing.
Right? It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking. Okay, so it says that it begins at 2:26 a.m. and it lasts till 3:31 a.m. It's not very long. When I looked it up on
What?
around the world, but it's not that long where I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you guys type in like your city, I just typed in like my city and then Ohio, and it came right up of when you can see it.
Oh, nice.
Okay, Robert, that lake, once the lake water reaches a salinity level greater than that of seawater, the temperature is high enough and adequate light conditions are provided, the algae began to accumulate the red pigment beta-carotene. The pink halobacterium grow in the salt crust at the bottom of the lake.
But it's not algae blooms. It doesn't hurt you.
No, I don't know, like, it's probably not
We had-
safe.
Okay. Yeah, we had algae blooms here. So in a lake 45 minutes away, where they used to do like swimming and boating. So you couldn't swim in it for like 5 years. But they said that the whole lake turned to color. I can't remember what color it was though. And it's been a long time.
It has its own cryptid in it.
Wow.
The Loch Eel monster.
Oh, for Washington, it's actually about 11:26 p.m.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
in now.
No, technically now.
Oh, we missed it.
No,
Yeah.
we can
No,
look
it's
outside
on right now.
Oh,
It's happening right now.
The blood moon is supposedly out.
It is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
it's
look.
going on right now.
So that means that it's doing it for me right now, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's doing it for you. Mm.
Hey now.
Rosella, you kind of walked into that one.
Where I'm at.
Yeah. Today and tomorrow.
Yeah, so that blood river is somewhere in Argentina.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah. It's weird.
Well,
the
have you guys
stuff that
had any
ends up
experiences with people going crazy, like full moon, more extreme experience? I mean, we know Nikki and I have.
there's a few on TikTok.
More than usual?
Church groups going crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't been around enough people to see if people have gone crazy. Like, I kind of just slept most of the day today. I gotta be honest. It was my day off. I was like, whatever, I'm sleeping.
If I remember right, there was this entire native tribe that a select few of the teenagers used to howl at the moon.
Huh?
I think it's called Forks.
Somewhere in Forks. Will it push?
Yeah.
I had 7 text messages, I think, today from friends who had crazy experiences happening, all before 10 a.m. It was insane. I couldn't keep up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't
But
talked to anyone.
I'm sleeping tomorrow because of this. So.
Well, what can I
Let me
say?
pull Kayla.
Actually, this morning, I had a couple of friends text me that haven't in a long time, so that was really kind of weird. But but I was
it
like
weird
so
stuff?
like out of it that I was just like, oh hey, and then went to bed.
I don't talk to people anymore. So I don't know. Like I haven't. No one said anything.
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah,
Robert?
None of my friends have said anything.
No kangaroos have came in your yard just doing karate chopping?
No, nothing recently. No.
Friend. I do know like the last me and Kayla have started watching doctor shows again and like doctor sitcoms like those type, but they have always had a statistic based off of 911 calls and stuff that is very contingent on full moons.
Oh, yeah.
And blood moons and those type, like anything that happens with the moon that is astrologically weird.
Well, the moon controls the water, and people are 98% water, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I worked at a substitute, and it was insane because I worked in the handicap rooms. It was crazy. And then my children would go crazy when I was trying to ever put them to sleep. It was usually like, a few days before, during it, and then after. It was nuts. I'm like, gosh. And people would be like, oh, it's a full moon. And that's how I could tell because my kids acted nuts when they were just younger.
Hospitals are known for having a lot of problems, a lot of coming in.
Yeah.
And specific kinds of full moons.
And stranger events, like in the ER.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's usually the ER that I hear about.
Yeah, they're not coming in because they cut themselves while making dinner. They're coming in because this is an extreme one, but because they have something inside them that shouldn't be there. Like that is when those happen.
What the?
Friend.
Okay, so it's 2:30 in the morning here.
And there's probably someone in your ER right now that has that issue.
Oh my god. Wow.
Friend, I did see one actually that happened yesterday. So I don't actually this is premeditated, so I don't know if it actually has anything to do with it actually being the full moon or the blood moon. Do you guys know who Aaron Goodwin is?
Yes.
From Ghost Adventures?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
His wife was arrested this morning.
Oh.
For a murder for hire plot. She was planning on murdering her husband.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
It's really true?
Yeah. No, it actually happened.
The amount of sites I've seen advertising it, that has to be true. But the sad thing about it is, if they did away with Aaron, they would have gotten rid of Zach as well at the same time.
Yeah. Wait,
You think that you're trying to kill both of them?
It'd be a bonus.
I think that, I don't like the show.
Oh, I hate the show.
But I don't wish any like this on anyone. Like that's insane.
Well, wasn't she just trying to collect insurance money?
I would imagine so.
Yeah,
I would think so. I always joke that my husband leaves his shoes in my path to try to kill me for insurance money.
Yeah, but going at
His feet are like size 13.
Like to actually go out and hire somebody though.
it's like the
That's
dumbest,
a little bit.
It's the dumbest way to do it. Because
So I can't talk about how you
hire
quill
someone.
swans, but you're going to talk about how you can figure out how to murder someone better than anyone else.
No, I'm just saying you never leave a trail. God.
Yeah, like if you're gonna do it yourself, and you can easily hide it.
Actually, I think that Kayla is very good at doing that.
It reminds me of that song. If you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
He's pretty smart.
Do it yourself. There's no other witnesses. No.
I think, like, yeah, you don't hire somebody so it traces back.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. Not only that, but then you have to trace the money and everything, and
Right.
it's just not worth it.
You could
Like,
just
come on,
kill
man.
them, chop them up, put it onto the floorboards, and say they left.
No, you don't put them under
How
the
much wood
Wood
floorboards.
chipper.
You
Yeah.
put them
Wood
on
chipper.
top
Makes
of
it
a
very
grave
hard
of
to
somebody
find them.
who already died.
No, you put it under the grave so it doesn't get caught.
Nicole, she's scary, so she could just watch out.
Moving on.
Don't piss her off.
We're walking.
I mean, I've never thought about this. No.
As a person who has a stalker.
Oh no.
I know psychopaths well. But no, like, how much did she pay? Like, what was the hit for?
No details have been released yet because they're still questioning her.
Oh.
Dang.
Like she was arrested this morning.
That's like
so.
super creepy.
It is,
Yeah.
wow.
You think you know some people?
It would suck to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
to
yeah.
realize that.
Your wife was gonna kill you.
I think that he's a nicer one, right? Like, I can't stand Zach more than
Well, and-
anything.
Well, that would be terrible to know that somebody that you thought you loved, like,
Right.
was planning on murdering you for insurance money. I mean, like, I wouldn't
Well,
wanna
let's
know
clarify.
that.
Someone you thought loved you.
Yeah, that's
Because no, there's a difference.
This is
And
your whole world.
friend,
Just shattering.
like, this is why I'm not scared to die because I'm expecting it.
oh my
She's
god.
gonna do it one day, guys. Right? Like,
Real blow.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
but honestly, if I think, Mom, if she does it, she's gonna do it together. Like,
with you.
no, you two are gonna be like in the car. She's just gonna grab.
Oh,
the wheel
murder
and turn.
suicide.
Yeah,
Eh,
because like when you're in there, like I don't think she can actually survive without you.
no,
Ooh,
actually,
you're
okay,
going on a bad
I gotta
run.
be perfectly honest. No, I couldn't.
Yeah. Like she
and-
needs a ride. Like, come on.
On a happy note about that, Jalen got his license yesterday, and John has his driver's test on Saturday.
Ooh.
So as of Saturday, she can do it all she wants.
Yay! I'm gonna be legally allowed to be. Well, not. I might be able to.
I'm officially. I'm glad I'm in Ohio.
Yeah, you
Nikki,
should be.
stay in your home.
I'm glad I'm in an island surrounded by heaps of water.
You
Unless
are.
he gets water wings on those wheels, no chance of him coming down here.
Do you realize how
Alright,
sad that is?
Johnny, we're going for the boat license next.
He lives in Australia, and you scare him in a vehicle more than any of the animals that live there.
Well, don't worry.
Oh
In a
my
few
god.
years, I'll take a trip
Kangaroos.
down there.
He's had huntsman's in his home. That's saying something.
Hey, my driving skills are pretty
Wow.
solid, honestly. Like I've only ran a few stop signs, ran over a few old ladies.
Oh.
Like, honestly, the score is not too bad.
Yeah, but that was your grandma. That wasn't nice.
Hey, she spooked me. She jumped out into the street.
Yeah, okay.
Was it while driving a John Deere? Grandma got hit by a deer.
No, but that's what I was driving when the poor squirrel didn't get out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jump right out.
Damn it.
Damn it! Why do you do that? We are an interesting bunch.
That's
Most
an
definitely.
understatement.
Yeah, it is.
Friend, I don't know, like, but
Man.
do you guys think? Okay, well, actually, no. You guys should know. So I'm going to ask you: does things like the blood moon and full moons affect the astral plane?
Oh yeah, the show was about that.
Like, you mean when you're astral traveling?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I've never thought about that.
Like, is there
but
more craziness in there?
I've never thought about that.
I've never thought about that, but I would assume it does, because a lot of things you're dealing with energy. You're dealing with frequencies. And when you're dealing with frequencies, yeah, things can move. Things can go faster. Never thought of that.
Huh.
Question.
It would be more. It would be more dangerous when all the planets are aligned.
Yes.
Because if it's just local to Earth, that would be something to look at with the blood moon. But if you're out further, it has no effect.
I mean, I would think that my perspective is when you asked me, like asked that or whatever, I was thinking I'm not meeting somebody in that aspect, like joining up. Like say if like me and Nikki or Robert were to join up in it, then I think it would maybe have a chance of affecting things more than if I was doing something maybe alone. But it depends on where you were going, you know, where you were meeting, where you were intending to go. Intention. So, I don't know, just thinking all aspects.
Second start of the right, straight on till morning.
Yep.
I say that a lot. Yeah. I love Peter.
I did until I saw a few YouTube videos.
What?
The idea that someone put in my head, do you still love Peter Pan, honestly?
Yeah.
Then we're not talking about this.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god.
Bad idea. Nope. Nope.
Out of the flying pan into the fire?
No.
Well, it's
No.
actually like,
Do not
have you
ruin.
ever known the history of actually Peter Pan, like how it came about?
I've had a lot of my favorites stripped away from me in the last year. I swear to God, don't take Peter Pan away.
I know, please don't take it away from me, though,
God,
I swear.
Peter Pan is like the worst.
My brother really tried to ruin Cinderella. I'm like, don't do this to me. No. I mean, and I love Sword in the Stone. God, I love the old ones. They don't make them anymore like
No,
that. Little Mermaid, the real one.
Yeah, well, actually, do you guys know what dropped today? And it was kind of kismet. Friend, they
Yeah.
dropped a new trailer for a Disney movie.
No way.
The Lilo and Stitch one. I saw that instantly. I am so fucking excited. I mean,
Calm
I'm so
down.
excited.
Same here.
Uh-huh.
So, Lilo and Stitch, which is Kimberly's favorite, like Stitch is her favorite Disney character,
Of all times.
is
Three.
now... Huh?
Are they making a 3 or a 4?
No,
They're doing live
They're
action.
redoing the first one in live action. And the first trailer dropped today, and they announced the date it's coming out. And it's on Kimberly's birthday.
Oh.
They should have done it on, what was it? June 26th. So it would be 66.
That's true.
That's true. Wow.
That's creepy.
But
But they have
No, I'm like, oh, just got chills.
they, I will tell you, like, everybody should watch the trailer. But he does way more damage in this one. It's way better. The two guys that are trying to catch him the entire time, they are played by live action people, and one of them's Eddie Murphy.
Oh.
And
Jumbo and Bleakley aren't Eddie Murphy, but Eddie
Mel
Murphy
Gibson?
plays what was it? The bouncer, the guy, the Men in Black type thing.
yeah, but
Bubbles.
that's it.
Yeah.
But you remember the tall, weird alien that kind of looks like a gray?
Yeah.
Oh.
Friend, he actually ends up transforming back into himself from his human character in this. And it is the greatest transformation of live action to anime character ever. I love this. Like, this is going to be an amazing movie. I'm so excited to go with the kids.
I can't wait.
I hate to tell you, I've never really liked Leon Stitch.
No?
No, I don't know. I think I don't know. It kind of annoyed me. He annoyed me so bad.
Oh, I loved Lilo and Stitch because it was like, well, ETs. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a small version of ETs, and a kid.
Ohana means family.
Well, you know, like my daughter loves that other one too, and I think that the girls talked about it when we, had that show. The other one, like what do they call it? Like he's the purple alien thing.
Oh, wow. I just drew a blank.
Boo or Bogue?
Home.
Yeah, that
Home.
one. Yeah.
Home, yeah.
Yeah, home.
Home. I didn't like. I mean, I didn't really like it. It kind of drove me nuts too. But it was like I could watch it the first time. Oh my gosh! But she would watch it like 3 times a day if she could. And then she got my mother addicted to it. I'm like, good God, stop.
Oh my God, that was the B movie for me. Like, the kids would watch that on, like, repeat. And I hate Seinfeld with a passion. So just hearing his voice being like, oh my God, I was like, oh God, I can't.
Well, and the kids would watch it all day. And then it would be in the DVD player when I got home. So as soon as I walk in the door, the first thing I do is walk over to it and push replay. And so,
yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah,
and then he wonders why I played Phantom of the Opera anytime I had the chance.
Your Phantom of the Opera days were already done by then.
Yeah.
I love Phantom.
Let's do a second phase.
That is funny. No, my kids did that with the B movie too, and I have to agree with you with Seinfeld's voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not like Seinfeld the show when it came out. I think
me either. Me either. I hated it.
I did not. And then like when I got married, like to my husband, he really liked it, so he would watch them. And I don't know. I just remember the soup one. That one was really funny, and of course, I think they did like a Saturday Night Live like skit, yeah. So I don't know. I think I kind of liked it more then, but I do. Yeah, the B movie kind of drove me crazy. Even like I love, like I keep calling her like Bridget Jones, Renee. I like her, but her voice drove me nuts in it. The way she spoke to him, it was just so strange, not like normal.
Well, at least I didn't have Fran Drescher.
Oh God. That would have made it just fabulous.
Mr. B.
No.
Oh God.
Has the ability. Fran Drescher has the ability. She's a really good actress. She has
she is
very versatile
to do different voices, and what she did with I mean, it was spot on for the character.
Well, it was iconic too.
Well, and when you hear her in other, whether it's a movie or TV show,
Nanny. I mean, that was
they had her on Friends, and they did the skit with the wasabi,
Mr.
and just put the whole thing in, and it was like, wow, I can actually talk without nasal thing, and I wonder how long that's gonna last.
Yeah, I remember that one.
that was the nanny. That was
that was the nanny. Yeah. And then she was sitting with Cece.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a question for a gentleman in our chat. Kevin, do you know if you're an ET abductee? I am asking that for a specific reason. Because your energy is extremely familiar to me. And I either know you from abductions or somewhere else, and I'm trying to figure out where I know you from. So, I'm putting that out there publicly.
Yep, absolutely. And while we wait for...
answer that publicly, so I totally get it. Message Cole if you want to keep it private.
Yeah. Fran,
and say that because your energy is very, very familiar to me, and I'm trying to figure out how I know you.
we are coming up on the last 10 minutes here. So,
Is it really?
just
Oh, wow,
another
that happened quick.
reminder to everyone to like and subscribe.
Yes.
Do us a favor and get us out there. Share the show if you can. So, let's start with Robert. You are on Paranormal Perth, which is on the Things Network. Where can we, or how can we find that show easily?
Usually go on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's also on Facebook. You go look for the Things Network. There are two different Things Networks. There's one that's not ours, and now has a green sort of logo, roundish logo. And there's a whole heap of other shows on the Things Network as well. So it's not just us. It's whole heap of different areas over in the UK, America, obviously down here in Australia. It's all over the place. So there's a lot of different things to choose from on the Things Network as well. So if you want to look for it, I'll try and find the image so you can pop it up at some point in time.
Okay, perfect. And when's your guys' next show? Do you know?
Not at this point in time, no.
Okay.
It's up to the other Nikki that's down in Perth, and she's got a kid that goes to school, and it's it's 2 hours behind here now. So down there, it's just gone 2:52. So she's just picking up her kid now from school.
And Rosella.
Yes.
Give us a way to find your travel blog.
Okay, so it's called My Haunted Travel Blog, and it is at myhauntedtravelblog.blogspot.com. So, and then, my book, if you want to look for that, that's called The Haunting at 2095. That's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. And independent stores can order it, but it's at their pretty much discretion. So, yeah, and then you can find me on Facebook, usually through Rosella C. Rao. Yeah.
Okay, rock on. And
My turn.
yes, Nikki, where can we find your show?
I'm on YouTube. It's Restore Belief with Nikki. I'm the only one with that name. So if you do the @ symbol and then Restore Belief with Nikki, will get you to my page. I'm also on Facebook, nikki.jacobs.376. That will also take you to my psychic page that is on my public page. So I keep my Facebook page very private, very close-knit for a very specific reason, and my public page for Nikki Jacobs Psychic Medium, you can message me there, or you can message me on the private one. I also have an email, restorebelief2022@gmail.com. So you can contact me that way as well.
Okay. And for those of you wondering, because I don't actually advertise where we are all that much, so the S4 Paranormal Bunker is, of course, here on YouTube at youtube.com/@the S4 Bunker, and then as well as you can find us on Facebook, and again at the S4 Bunker. On X, we are listed as S4 Bunker. On Instagram, we are listed at s4.bunker. And if you want to send me a direct message, you can reach me at Cole Wigleitner. And if you look, my thing is actually, right here. So yeah, you can look us up there, and you can find us there, and you can send me a direct message if you need to about anything. Nikki, did you see he answered you? He's not sure where he recognizes your energy as well as Kayla's. So
yeah, just put in the chat message to him because I literally just saw mud, which is interesting, and then a Roman soldier, and I'm like, we talking different lifetime? What are we talking here? So anyway, see what happens.
And yeah, like it's kind of neat to actually know that you can actually recognize different energies from some of our listeners, and the fact that they can recognize some of your guys' energies as well. I know, I don't know. I would imagine that if anyone actually tried to get my energy, I know exactly what the smell would be, I think. And that would be 2-cycle engine oil. Fran. And exhaust. Damn rights, because hell yeah. Fran.
What's with cinnamon?
Huh?
What is with cinnamon? Are you a cinnamon eater?
Okay. That's a medical thing.
McDonald's apple pie.
No, absolutely not. I do not eat cinnamon on a regular basis. I will not. I hate it. But I take metformin for diabetes. Mm-hmm. And one of the side effects of metformin is the fact that it stops vitamin B12 from getting to your leg. Or to your legs. And it's one of the main causes of actually people losing their legs from diabetes.
Yeah.
So, cinnamon allows vitamin B12 to actually make it all the way to the bottom of my feet.
Ceylon cinnamon, correct?
Yes. So I take pills every day of cinnamon, and it is the most annoying pill in the world because they're really hard to swallow, and if they don't go down all the way, I cough cinnamon for the next, 2 hours.
Ooh.
And it's the grossest thing ever. Yeah, I take them with water, Robert, but it just... Sometimes they get stuck, and if they get stuck anywhere at, the bottom of my esophagus...
Yeah.
It's just gross.
Yep. Well, I take 5 of the 5 vitamin Ds. They're only small, but I take them all at once, so 5 of them. And then one of the... superfish oil. These are the big buggers. They can easily get stuck in your throat too.
Oh God, yeah.
No.
See, I knew I missed something. Yes, if you're interested in Rosella's book, The Haunting at $20.95 is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. I've never heard of a Books A Million. What the hell is that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know they have one of them in Kentucky and stuff, so maybe it's like an East, coast thing. But it's basically a Barnes & Noble, but it's exactly the same layout and everything. Just a separate owner, probably.
I wonder if they're in Kohl's bookstore.
Kohl's bookstore?
Yeah, that's what we have around here, and I need to find out because then, I'm still trying to get them to give me stock. They took my name, those bastards.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
Well, actually, I'm in Walmart. I forgot.
Are you?
I always forget that. I've been in Walmart for years, and I always forget.
Huh.
Yes. So, yeah, Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Independence, and then, Walmart.
Well, I'm going to go check my local Walmart and see if you're in there.
You might have to order it because it's been a few years.
Oh, well, then I'm just going to Amazon because I hate Walmart.com.
Yeah, because Walmart, they're really bad. How it works is you have bookshelf time. You're given 6 weeks, sometimes 4. At a Barnes & Noble or Books A Million, they'll give you just a certain amount of weeks. If you don't sell a certain amount in that area, every store is a different quota and area, limit. But if you don't sell their quota, then they just send it back. And then they offer it online. So they're really bad about all of that. It's a very cutthroat world.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, well, that makes freaking sense. Kevin says my energy smells like cigarettes and motor oil. Damn right. Friend. Kayla has no smell because she's an alien.
Yeah.
Brand. They don't give off scent. Not her type.
Of course, I wouldn't smell.
Oh no, you smell. Trust me.
They always say I smell like strawberries or bouquets. I'm like, thanks. I'm not wearing anything. Thanks.
I'm smellless. Nice.
You,
Huh?
What?
Kevin, how old are you?
50. Well, he's in his 50s.
In his 50s. Okay. Because I keep receiving like a sergeant type of person as a Roman soldier. I don't know what else to call I don't know the name. I should, because I had 2 freaking lifetimes as a Roman soldier.
Legionnaire.
Yeah, he was. The only thing I can equate it to is like a sergeant. That's what I keep getting is like a sergeant in the as a Roman soldier.
Huh.
Sorry, but I hated that lifetime, and I had very few people that I was very close to. Very few. Our Keith Andrews remembers that lifetime better than I do, but I remember it with a lot of anger and dislike because of what we used to have to do. But yeah, I keep getting he was a Roman soldier and some kind of sergeant or higher up. Both of us, both he and I were male at the time, obviously. Keep getting mud, trudging through mud.
Well, I am going to tell you guys, next week, we are going to start the show with a little bit more Astral.
Okay.
Because I still want to read. Kevin's actually sent us an email with a story in it.
Oh, cool.
Like his story of his astral travel. So,
nice.
We are going to start the show next week with that. We'll talk about...
Yes. Arcturus.
We're going to talk about his experience and then discuss it. And then we're going to move on to something else.
Okay.
I don't know what that is yet.
Okay, because I can.
I tell stories that person. Wow.
Should we talk about like apparitions? Have we ever done that before?
No, I don't think
like different types.
Pretty much, and like different experiences that people have.
Absolutely.
Have or had.
Yeah, sure.
People can write in and tell us their stories.
Absolutely, that is always welcome. And if you just go back a few minutes, I told you all of the ways to get a hold of us. You can reach me at my personal email or the S4bunker at gmail.com, or you can reach me on Facebook at Cole Wegleitner, and the spelling of it is right on the screen, so you should be able to find that pretty easily. But with that, guys, it is now 12:03. It is time for us to get our asses back in the bunker.
Okay, one thing out there. I have been trying to look for somebody who has a really great ghost car story for my haunted travel blog. I've just been looking for years. If anybody has like a really good ghost story, like a ghost car that does weird things, following you around and kind of disappears, I've just never actually met somebody who has that. So I want to write something.
All right, we got to talk after the show.
In contact with Drew.
Oh, thanks. That's great. I appreciate it. Okay.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Have a good week, and we will see you next week, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, here on YouTube.com.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit.